Do you ever feel like weight loss is impossible because you aren't sure what to eat? Well, over the last 10 weeks, I've lost 20 pounds effortlessly, and what I've been able to eat every day is the reason why. So in this video, I'll show you 4 of the meals that help me stay on track this entire time. Let's get into it. I love breakfast sandwiches and breakfast burritos, and you better bet that I haven't cut that out just because I'm trying to lose weight. However, last night I saw this amazing video by Jason Farmer about this Korean street food, and the egg was so fluffy and thick, I knew I needed to try it. So we're still gonna do the usual breakfast, but we're gonna switch out the egg type for this sandwich. The first thing we need is an 8x8 pan. We also need eggs, egg whites, and milk. And of course, a big ass bowl, because this isn't gonna just make 1 serving, this is gonna make 4. And this is the first time I've ever done this. So let's wish each other luck. And if this turns out well, this is going to become a recipe that I'll definitely be putting in the cookbook and on the channel in the near future. So most of the recipes I found use 12 eggs, but of course we need to cut on some calories, but that doesn't mean all of the egg yolks go. Egg yolks are flavor, egg yolks are nice fat. So instead of 12 whole eggs, we'll do 7 eggs. And then to make up for the 5 eggs that are missing, I'm gonna put in egg whites, and each egg weighs around 50 grams. So we're gonna add 250 grams to the bowl. There's already salt in the egg whites, so I'm gonna put about half the salt that I normally would. And then we're gonna add 3/4 cup of milk. Of course, I got the high protein milk, but this should make it extra creamy. And now we just gotta mix it together. This is the hardest part of the whole recipe, and it's literally putting 3 ingredients into a bowl and mixing it. So they say for an extra smooth and fluffy egg that we have to strain it. I've never strained eggs before, but at 34 years old, today's a good day to break my virginity. Now you might be wondering why this pan is in another pan. You're gonna see in a second. And we all know how expensive eggs are nowadays. Ah, shit. Before I end up with eggs that are sticking to the pan and not show any mess ups, I'm gonna show you my mess ups. Because again, this is my first time doing it, and we've all been there where we forgot to oil the pan. So of course, to make sure that this doesn't stick, I need to spray some oil on the inside. And to not mess up the recipe, I'm okay spending a minute cleaning this out and drying it off again. All right, this is gonna get the double strain action. So I'm not really sure how much egg white is left over, but I would guess less than 1 egg white's worth. I don't think this will affect the recipe much. We're gonna cover this up with some aluminum foil. And the way this is made so fluffy, it's kind of like when I made the sausage egg McMuffins, is that we use steam to cook it and not the actual pan or oven. Where's the steam coming from, Nick? Well, what we're gonna do is get a cup and fill it with hot water. And I'm gonna put the eggs in first. And then I'm gonna put the water around the eggs in our little moat. I don't know how long this will take, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but I'll be back as soon as it's done. Admittedly, took a little bit longer than I expected. However, see what we're working with here. That looks beautiful to me. See, this is what recipes are all about. This really gets me going, gets me excited, trying something new for the first time. This is the real moment of truth. Ooh, that looks good. So soft, so nice. While that cools down just a little bit, let's get everything else ready. For that, we need a toaster. I don't want anyone telling me that I need to go to jail for not toasting my buns. But thankfully, one of you guys, my subscribers, told me about these Sola bagels. I always used the Thomas bagels, 110 calories. These are also 110 calories, but these are 4 grams of protein. This is 15. So I'm gonna do my best to cut this in half evenly. Make sure we got it on the bagel setting. There are a ton of different meats you could use. Bacon, breakfast sausage, Canadian bacon, and today I'm using Canadian bacon, essentially. Canadian bacon, ham slices, whatever you want to call it. It's a beautiful thing. It's still cold though, and we don't want a cold breakfast sandwich. We didn't spend 40 minutes making that egg for our bacon to be cold. Typically, I would put this in a pan and fry it up a little bit, but I want to do it the lazy way and just put it on a plate and put it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. Now I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this and cut this in half the best I can. 20 seconds was more than enough for that. I'm gonna pat it dry just so it doesn't sog up our sandwich. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Definitely reminds me of the McDonald's sausage bagel or sausage McMuffin we made, but this is like a whole nother level. We got one more major player in this game, jalapeno Velveeta. Love it, mentioned on the channel several times. I love a little spice. Velveeta melts perfectly, is in a lot of famous breakfast sandwiches, and something I just can't live without. The question is, how do I wanna do this? I think I'm gonna go cheese, Canadian bacon, egg, and another slice of cheese because one, I just love cheese so much, and two, there is so much egg and bread that I think 2 cheeses is a must here. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know the secret to a better sandwich in general is wrapping it in parchment paper and letting all the flavors come together, but I'm also going to wrap it in parchment paper to put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. All right, I would be remiss if I didn't put some sauce on here because I'm a sauce boy and I love my chipotle aioli. As you could probably tell, I have to make more. So, that's perfect. Oh my God. Okay, like I don't even feel like this is real life. Like, oh, you're dieting? What'd you have for breakfast? This fat fucking sandwich. Unbelievable. What in the hell? Been long enough, let's see what we got. The fluffy egg just does it. Absolutely incredible. I need to eat this. Let's go over the macros. In this meal, we have 429 calories, 51 grams of protein, 46 carb, a bunch are coming from the fiber, and 17 grams of fat. You need to make this. Let's get to meal 2. I have a few burritos left in the fridge. However, I wanted to show you my process for making this entire meal prep, which lasts me a couple of weeks. Typically, I would start by getting the seasoning together, but last time I made this, I already prepped the seasoning because I prepped 2 of them and I just put the other half in another container. And so that cuts time down by 5 or 6 minutes right out the gate. Then we're gonna grab our 96 4-ground beef and we should hear that sizzle as soon as we put the beef down. And I wanna spread this out as much as I can because we want that browning on the bottom, which is gonna give us beautiful flavor. Now, for even better browning, I'm gonna put another pot on top of it. And if you notice, this pot has enough room for steam to escape. And that's exactly what we want. Someone in the comment section tried to say how I'm being disingenuous and this isn't easy. And I really wanna show you how easy this is because this entire month's worth of meal prep all comes down to cooking one thing because all you have to do is make the burritos. Make the ground beef, use prepackaged ingredients, make the burritos. 1, 2, 3. Super easy. I got my full water bottle and my grill press because I want to put even more pressure. While that's going, I'm gonna get everything else ready. First is our beef broth. I love the beef broth because we got 80 calories and 19 grams of protein. Essentially, this whole damn thing is protein. Oh yeah, while it's going, I like to set a timer. If I don't set a timer, I'll keep yapping to you and I'll burn something. And there's already gelatin and collagen in the bone broth, but some extra gelatin will really help preserve the meat when it goes through the freezing and fridge process for this meal prep. So I'm gonna take 1 pack of gelatin or about 7 grams and just put it in here because about how long it takes for the meat to cook, the gelatin will bloom. And you know, in this house, we don't eat pre-shredded bullshit cheese. We are using the real shit. Why? Because this one doesn't have a bunch of anti-caking agents on it, doesn't have that weird taste, and it only takes quite literally 1 minute to do. I could even have my editor time me so he could tell me how long this took. I'm using a sharp cheddar. You can use a regular cheddar. You can use a Colby Jack. I switch it up from meal prep to meal prep, keep things a little bit fresh, but these burritos really never get old. All right, editor Magic, you tell me. We're not gonna be making the burritos for a while, so we wanna get this in the fridge. What else we got? 102 grams of tomato paste. I love these ones in a tube, only because I don't have to do any work. So I still have a few minutes. With my spare time, I'm just gonna get all the other cans open that I need. This jalapeno cheddar sauce is great. You find it by the chips section at the store. For my beans, I'm doing both. pinto and black. And then I'll just get a spoon for each one of these. And for the cheese, I'm gonna use a spatula. And this is perfect timing. Timer's going off as soon as I pull the utensils out. So now we'll get our pan off. And if you don't want that extra browning, you don't have to use this pan. It is an extra dish, but to me, the extra browning is just worth the extra minute of cleanup. So my favorite one-use utensil in the house are meat chopper. I start off going slow, or else I'll spray beef juice everywhere. And I really try and get this into small chunks because our burritos aren't gigantic and it will make them easier to roll the smaller crumbles that we get. That looks pretty good to me. Now it's time for our seasoning. And what's nice, this is all small chunks. We could evenly spread this out very easily. And we're gonna mix this around because these seasonings need to wake up. And to make a little bit less mess, I'm gonna put the tomato paste in now and mix it around. It's easier to mix when you don't have all of the broth in there. All right, and as you can see, it doesn't even look like I put any gelatin in there because it all sunk in there. So we'll add that in, and you can see how thick that gelatin was coming out. That's gonna thicken and hydrate our ground beef, making it juicy in every single bite. And at the same time, this is why I'm using the spatula, I'm getting all that brown stuff off the bottom of the pan. This will also prevent it from burning. If you just leave it there, it could burn and then ruin the whole taste of your meat. So I got it all off and the beef looks well mixed. And we're gonna let this simmer so we have the perfect result. Every few minutes, you just wanna give it a stir. So again, nothing is like burning at the bottom. And just like that, our meat is simmered. Now there is some juice still left on the top, but once this cools down, this is going to thicken up considerably. Speaking of cooling down, even if I turn this off and take this off of the heat, being in this pan, it's gonna take forever. Normally that wouldn't matter, but we're trying to mix it with Greek yogurt, and anything above like 170 degrees, the Greek yogurt will coagulate and you could completely ruin everything we've done so far. So I'm just gonna transfer this over to a bowl. So this will cool down in just a couple minutes. In the meantime, I'm just gonna wash the dishes I used today. So then when we're done making this, we basically have nothing to clean and can go relax. And in just 15 minutes, our dishes are done and our meat, super thick, no extra water or juice anymore. Looks tremendous. But now we're at 130. We're in more than a safe zone for us to add our Greek yogurt. Typically, this recipe calls for fat-free Greek yogurt. And you might be wondering what I'm looking at, but I always follow my cookbook. So I'm looking at, okay, what's the next direction? The ingredients are always listed in the order that I need them. So I'm just going down. But yeah, I'm just looking at my cookbook while we go along here. But it says 500 grams fat-free Greek yogurt, and I don't have fat-free Greek yogurt. And this is a great example of where a substitution really won't affect the recipe, because for 500 grams of 2% Greek yogurt, we're only adding an extra 90 calories. And when you divide that between 20 burritos, that's less than 5 calories per burrito. So all we gotta do, add that over the top and mix it up. At this point, we're essentially ready. Obviously for 20 burritos, we need 20 tortillas. We got the carb counter tortillas, 60 calories. We got these street taco carb counter tortillas, which are only 30 calories. Our first layer is the cheddar dip, but I just make this about as big as the tortilla. And what I would rather do before I spread them out is get 30 grams on each one and then spread them out all at the same time. While this meal prep is easy and it only takes me about 90 minutes, to make all 20 burritos. I have to admit, some weeks I just was super busy and I didn't have time to do an extra meal prep, whether it was this one or one of my other ones. That's where Factor, sponsor of today's video, came in clutch. Factor delivers fresh, never frozen meals straight to my door, and each meal fits perfectly into my calorie and protein needs. When I'm slammed with work, I just grab one from the fridge, pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and boom, a perfectly dialed in meal with no dishes to clean. This saved me from mindless snacking, kept me consistent, and helped me lose 20 pounds while holding on to every ounce of hard-earned muscle. And I always choose meals from the Protein Plus plan, aiming to get about 40 grams of protein and around 500 calories per meal. If you want to try Factor for yourself, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50E4CM to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50E4CM at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Typically, I'm listening to music and absolutely jamming out right now, and this goes by super fast. So if you got like a favorite show and you got a TV over here, you can kind of look over, watch exercise for cheat meals video, and by the time it's over, it's like boom, done. Where people do make a mistake is they put this on and then try and put their beans on. The beans, unless you warm them up, are pretty hard. So you want to spread the beans on the tortilla before you put the tortilla down. This doesn't have to be perfect. And as you get going, you start going faster and faster. Then we got our beef mix. I like to use an ice cream scoop for this. We need about 86 grams. And again, I'm just going to pour this in here and wait until I'm done with all of them to spread it. Still have one more layer. Remember, we shredded that cheese earlier. This is another one. As you go, you get a feel of exactly how many 7 grams is, and you just start going boom, 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 and it's quick. Now all that's left to do is roll. I explained that in the recipe video. If you definitely want to make this, I would just go check out the recipe video. It has a way better visuals. And with that, in just an hour and 45 minutes, even with all of the talking and all of the trying to do the camera angles and everything, we have 20 burritos prepped and ready to go. And we're still gonna do it in parchment paper. And since it's fresh, it only really needs like 20 seconds, maybe 30. A little bit of fire sauce, don't mind if I do. This recipe is based off the Taco Bell beefy 5-layer, so it's perfect. I mean, just look at the layering. You get flavor in every single bite. If you haven't made this, you need to. This is absolutely incredible. I'm gonna eat another one of these. So this meal is 2 cheesy, beefy burritos. And for 2 of them, we have 518 calories, 17 fat, 50 carb, a bunch of which are coming from fiber, and 46 grams of protein. 2 burritos, 500 calories, 46 protein. You cannot beat it. I'm gonna get these put away and I'll see you for meal 3. Even though the meal prep we made for lunch was super fast for how much food we were getting, typically my lunch is about 1 to 5 minutes of work. So for dinner, I knew that I needed something super quick. And ever since I made my buffalo chicken dip, it really reminded me how great a rotisserie chicken is. So we're going to use that today to make a quick and simple dinner because you know I need dessert. So yesterday I bought a rotisserie chicken, broke it down, actually ate this last night for dinner because I was short on time as well. And it's just a really delicious dinner for the amount of effort that you put in. What's great about this too is we get the double dip. I went to the store for tortillas, used tortillas earlier for the burrito, and now we're using more tortillas. So I'm gonna grab 2 of these, put them down. Another double dipper, the cheese that we grated earlier. It's still freshly shredded, it still tastes incredible, and we're gonna put 14 grams on each. Obviously, if I had more calories, I'd be putting more cheese, but this will be enough and will still give us a ton of flavor. Now, it's not exact, but with the amount of dark meat and breast meat, it's about 50-50. It's actually more breast meat, so it's lower calorie. But in the calories, I'm gonna count this as 50% dark meat, thigh meat, and 50% breast meat. And we're gonna do 1 serving or 84 grams on each tortilla. And in just about, I don't know, 2 minutes, we basically prepped everything we need to prep. Now, what I do think is worth the calories with these quesadillas is a little bit of butter to put on both sides. It gets a nice browning and a nice toast and taste on the outside of the tortilla. We just need about 6 grams here. This is 7, but we're not gonna end up using every single gram. All right, I'm just spreading it out. You're gonna fold this and we're gonna put the cheese side down and get that toasting. All right, you see we got that extra butter in there, and we're gonna use that and spread it on top, so when we flip it, we get a good browning on both sides, and we get taste on the top and flavor on the top and the bottom. Rotisserie chickens are just great for so many things. I've been eating these quesadillas. I've also been having tacos, cilantro and onion with either some salsa crema or some chipotle. So many different uses for rotisserie chicken. I wanna make a video about all the different recipes you can make with a rotisserie chicken. All right, 2 minutes. We've already got some pretty good browning. I need to get a new one of these. I've been saying it forever, but I truly do. Nothing browns evenly on this thing. All right, I put my money on this one's ready. Yeah. Get it. Literally smoking. Beautiful. And we're not done yet, because after I was done meal prepping, I made some salsa crema from my cookbook. It's 4 ingredients and it took me 5 minutes to make. Freaking amazing. Which, by the way, if you want this recipe, all other 160 recipes in my cookbook, new recipes early, join thousands of others that have lost a shit ton of weight, like myself, in the best shape of my life at age 34. Check the link in the description and use code E4CM for 10% off. Now, when you get this much quesadilla for such little calories, calories and such high protein. It's just a shocker. Now all that's left to do is put some salsa crema on top and dig in. Definitely burned my mouth. Definitely need to go over the macros so I can keep burning my mouth. For this meal, we have 526 calories, 19 fat, 29 carb, and 66 grams of protein. 500 calories, 66 protein. Are you starting to see the pattern meal to meal? I'm gonna eat these, probably take a quick shower, and I will see you for the best meal of the day, meal 4, or dessert. I have been creaming multiple times per night. Not once, not twice, typically 3 creams. You will find out why in the very near future, but for now, I am working on a 2025 update on my vanilla ice cream, and we're gonna test that out today, and we have a very special mix-in as well. Per usual, we're gonna do 1 minute washing off the outside. And as the cream king, I will tell you, this summer is going to be the best Ninja Creamy ice cream summer for content that we've ever had. And we'll run it on the ice cream setting. We've got to make some room in the middle here because although I'm testing vanilla, yesterday I made my triple chocolate muffins and I have a couple, so I'm like, we need to use that for a mix-in. I have enough calories and enough space to use about 1/3 of the muffin. So we'll get that in there, push that down, cover that muffin back up, and we'll get it back going with a mix-in setting. Let's see our final product. We're gonna have little chunks of muffin stuck inside this entire pint of ice cream. First, I gotta get a sugar cone. I got 60 calories, really like 50 calories left on the day, but I'm okay being 10 calories over. Got a sugar cone, we got our ice cream scoop, and god damn it, what a wonderful life that we live. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh my god, yeah. So good. Oh my god. I want to go lay down, eat this nice pint of ice cream, and get my ass to bed. It's been a long day. For this ice cream, including the ice cream cone, muffin, everything, we have 434 calories, 9 grams of fat, 77 carb, a bunch of which are going to come from Swerve or erythritol, so no calories, and 42 grams of protein. Again, you just can't beat it. On the day, that gives us 1,908 calories, 62 grams of fat, 203 carb, a bunch of which are coming from fiber and the Swerve, and then 206 grams of protein. That calorie to protein ratio is unreal. I'm not losing 1 drop of muscle. My strength has sustained this whole entire cut besides my bench press, and I couldn't be more proud. But these aren't the only 4 meals I've been eating. So if you check out this video here, I will go over 4 more meals that are absolutely delicious, that I pipe on the regular, and that you will absolutely want to incorporate into your diet moving forward. Until next time, deuces.